This is my bread and butter. This is how I was able to print money, because I was able to do this and that without this software. So you need to have a comparable of a 3-bedroom between 1.5 to 2 bath.
Mm-hmm. What kind of 2 mile rate?
Even 2 miles too big. That's when you're in the country.
Okay.
So around here, especially in that area, you need to be in the same neighborhood or half a mile. Right? So he's going bedrooms, 3-3, because we don't want to go to 4s yet. We're only going to expand the search criteria if we need to. Sorry for taking over.
No, you're good, man.
And bedrooms, you're going to do between 1.5 and 2. So now we're going to stay in the same range of properties that we have. And year built, this one was built in 1957, so I like to do a 10-year run. So I would do from 55 to 65. So now because Francis always says, what's one of his questions? What year was it built? What year was it built? He asks you that because you're comparing like model cars. And then this automatically, you can leave it where it is because it puts a 20% plus or minus. So it's going to say square foot higher or lower 20% of the subject property, because it's 1,600, so it's going to go down 20% and up 20%, right? And then you're going to leave it at a half a mile radius. And you're always going to go status sold, because status sold is more important than active. Active don't mean anything. I can list my car right now for $2 million. That don't mean that's what the market price is. Public record information, you want to go finance, because we know this was not a cash buyer. This was somebody who went out and took a mortgage, and a bank actually went out and backed up this appraised,
exactly.
Right? So then,
multi parcel sales, you don't want that.
You want to exclude it, because that means I could have went in there and bought 6 houses, right? And then it's going to show one sale, but it's going to show a $2.6 million 6-house sale.
Right. And even if you were to get the value of each sale, someone paying $0.5 million for 6 properties, not paying full price on each property. Right. He's going to get a fat discount on that. So exclude, you're looking to see what one property sold for, not what 10 at the same time sold for.
And then property class.
Apples to apples, baby.
You want to do residential, right? So we don't want no commercial showing up here, because that's not what we're looking at. And then property type, this is a single family residence. We want to make sure we're not comparing it to no damn condos down the street. So you want to narrow down your thing so much. Subdivision, leave it off right now, because we don't even, a lot of these, Ardmore areas, they don't even have subdivision names. They kind of made them up as they went along. This is your property fact card. Some of this information is 100%, but you always need to verify it, right? Because I know where this information comes from. See, this is what I'm talking about. If you know the back end of where this beautiful UI gets from, you're never going to question. You're going to question everything with a grain of salt, because this is pulled from the property record card, right? So when you go on the public record, you print out the tax information. It's going to say this is a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. Reality, it could be wrong. It could be a 3-bedroom, 2 bath. Right, so these are the information that you're going to verify, because this say 1.5. You call me, I'm like, no, it's 2 bath. I don't know what you're talking about. I got 2 full bath, right? So then you might need to change that and knock out any 1.5. So the point is this information is all pulled from county records, and county records can be wrong. So the house you live in right now, you want your tax bill to come to your house.
That's owner occupied.
It's owner occupied. But if it's not, it's going somewhere else. It's likely. It's not 100% fact. I can have a P.O. box. Right. And they're gonna put me as an absentee owner, because I don't want my mail coming to my house.
Exactly.
But I'm not an absentee owner. I actually live at the house, but I got a P.O. box around the corner. Right. So if you know where the data comes from, you know to add it with a grain of salt, because there could be variables that you're not thinking about. Right. So now we know, let's see if we got compare apples to apples. So we start to slide this over, right? So my bad. So your subject properties up top. You got 3-bedroom. This is the subject property, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, right? Now 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, only 51 square feet bigger. Lot size, our lot size is a little bit bigger, so we'll throw that into account. Scroll over.
Yep. Oh, scroll to the right.
No, actually, you know what? And then you got 3-bedroom, 2 bath, pretty much the same. 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath. This is smaller.
Yeah, but this one's across highway.
So we can't use that.
Yeah,
so
and you can see the dramatic value.
Do you see the value drop?
Right, that highway, lower value areas here.
Yeah. So you just know these things. When you know real estate, you just know. So we're not going to use that, right? Because 2 properties traded in a comparable area, and now you got a rough square footage price. Mm-hmm. So it's just a mental note. So write down 144.
Write it down?
Yeah, just write down 144.
All right.
Right, and then you're going to go back over here.
Yeah. So this one, and then across the highway, but it is the same subdivision. I don't know if that would matter. But you can see there's a huge value drop right here.
But it's also much smaller.
Oh, that makes sense too. Yes, well, let's check a look. Maybe it's also the condition. Maybe it wasn't like they didn't put enough love into it. Yeah, it doesn't look like. That's probably why. See, like you can tell it wasn't.
They didn't do anything.
Do much.
They didn't do much.
So, but now you know when you don't do much, what you can get out of it.
And so that's another important thing. Now you start going to look at the pictures. Go look at that one.
So this is what a 235 property looks like in the same neighborhood. This is after repair value, guys.
So fairly clean. We know they were living in it, but they fixed it up. But you see, we say, oh, we can get a property looking like this, right? So then you exit out of this one, and you go to the
37.
Yep.
This is what a 237 looks like. Ooh, a little bit nicer.
Brighter colors,
Brighter.
granite countertops, new counters, right, still kept the old porch floor, original hardwoods, pedestals. So okay, so now you see, this is why Francis don't want to do the basement, because other properties haven't had to do the basement to get the money he wants. Right, so now this is my first time looking at this. Okay, so now let's exit out. So now we're looking at, remember we bought this for 100. I don't remember the price, but we're looking at a 230, 240 price. So now you know that in your head.
That's right there, the 100% value.
Got it.
Right.
Now this is where we're gonna get funky. I need a marker. Because this is where you guys will stop asking, hey, what is it worth? What is this? You'll be able to start doing it on your own. Especially new, you're brand new. This is like your 4th day. All right, so now the owner is on the phone and we're scrabbling, right? So we know that the owner's got this property, one sold for 135, and you're just writing notes. And you just act like you're writing, 235, 237. So you having this idea in your head, and now here's what it is. And now let's look at this, days on market. That's fairly quick, but the most recent one was 63. That's a little long actually. In our market where things are selling like in days, but they must have been holding out for a price. They knew they were gonna get a price, they were holding out, right? So we know that we're gonna say our property, apples to apples. Let's scroll this way for me. No, the other way, sorry. Oh, 1,600. Okay, we're gonna do 237. So 237 is what a quick value of Cherokee you're thinking in your head. You got the owner on the phone, you've scrabble, you're asking questions, open-ended, and this is why you ask open-ended questions, so you can start doing math, right? And there's 2 types of questions you answer. Questions for me and questions for the seller. Questions for me is to obtain actual real information that I need. Questions that I ask the seller is to find out so they can be brought into reality. Let's just say this was 15 years. We know we just bought this, but let's just say it was 15 years. Hey, Mr. Seller, how long have you owned the property? You already know the answer. Right. So this question ain't for you. This question is for him. How long have you owned the property? Oh, 15 years. Okay, cool. What makes you consider selling it? Is that for him or for you? For you. So you starting to add arsenals to your. Okay, cool. Hey, Mr. Seller, have you thought about, maybe have you thought about what you want for the property? Most time they're gonna push back. You're not even gonna get a good answer right now, right? She said, no, not really. Okay, cool. So you've owned this house for 15 years. Have you done any updates to it recently?
No, not yet.
So who's that question for?
Me.
That's for both of you. Exactly. You're gathering data and you putting a reality check on them.
Damn, I haven't done this house.
Right? And so, see, you're starting to build this thing for him. So you now need that and he needs that too because you're bringing a reality. So now you start asking these questions and you're going to start deciding who's the question for. Him or me, him or me. Some of this stuff is, have anything sold in your neighborhood recently? You already know that. And so, yeah, my neighbor sold his house for 235. Write 235 and circle it, because now that's in his head. So now we need to drop that anchor, but we're not gonna visit that right now. We're gonna visit that a little bit later. Okay, 235 sounds good. So you price anchored him at 235, where he price anchored himself. You leave that alone and you go to something else. So you say you haven't done any updates in 15 years. If you were to do, right? You watch that show HGTV, right? With the little beautiful show where they do all this stuff. If you had all the money in the world, what would you do to that house to fix it up? If you were me, if you were looking to buy it, He's gonna, I'll do the, so now instead of saying, now you're asking a question in the sense of, but you're also giving him permission to not think as if it's him doing it in his house. You're not saying, well, what updates, what would you do to the house? No, if you were on the HGTV show, what would you do to the house to make it look like, 2021? Oh man, I'd updo the kitchens, the bathrooms, this. Now the opposite side is when you walk into the house with the person and they'd be like, oh yeah, you just gotta do the cabinets here, clean the bathroom up and you be ready to sell. Well, if you asking the HGTV question, he going, yeah, I put a new roof in it, I'll redo the kitchens, the bathrooms, all of this stuff. Okay, cool. Leave it. Okay, sounds good. You start talking about some BS. Now you get back to you want to start dropping the price. I was looking at your guy that sold the property on Cherokee Lane. I see that he sold for $235. You were right. Did you ever get to check out his house before you sold it? No, I didn't get to check it out. Okay. So you don't know what it looked like inside. Well, I'm looking at some pictures and man, he's got just about everything you just told me you would do for HGTV. Up his head now, because now he can't get 235. You told him he can't get 235 without even telling him he can't get 235 because you saying 235 is HGTV. You told me you're raggedy. So now you playing this game with him and telling him things without you making him tell himself things. And so as it goes in, you say, okay, hey, Mr. Seller, what would you think, the HGTV kitchen would cost? $20,000. So now we're back at him doing it. So the kitchen be $20,000. Right? What about those bathrooms? Now, most people would probably say $25,000. $25,000. Oh, bathrooms would be at least $15 a piece. The master bath and then the half bath, we'll probably spend like maybe $10,000 on that one, right? And the roof is 15 years old. So it's probably at about its half-life. So that's not bad. But if I was wanting to get 237 and I want to be like your neighbor, I probably had to put a new roof on it. And that's probably gonna cost me, Now this is where you give them some credit. Now the roof probably, but you know what? We got a construction company, so most people it's gonna cost them, $18,000. For us, it's only like 12. You don't know. Remember, these are Google prices, and then you have contractor price. So you're giving him a little bit of credit. So when he adds all that up, what's that? 3, 4, 5, 50, 60, 62,000, right? He said, hey man, okay, so I'm adding it all up. It looks like you need about $62,000 worth of repairs. So, okay, so 62,000, let me do some math here. 37,000 minus 62,000. Okay, so, all right, so even if I bought your house right now for $175 and I fixed it up for $62,000, I'd lose money. What do you mean? Let me tell you why, Mr. Seller. So, because a house for $237, right, times closing costs and real estate agents is going to cost me about 9%. What's that? 237, 9%. Right? So it's going to cost me about $22,000 just to sell this. So I'd be in the hole 22 grand. I know it's crazy, right? They don't really talk about that on the HGTV show where you got to do all that and blah, blah, blah. 175 minus the 22,000, I'm at 150, 175 minus the closing costs, 153. So hey, Mr. Seller, so now we're at 153 and I'll break even. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not a nonprofit organization. I got to make some money. I got 19 employees. So, this is what we do for a living. So if I gave you 153, I'd be doing this for free. And, as an investor, we are investors, we got to make a little bit of money. The best I can probably do is I could probably give you about 125,000, right? And you may even start lower. I can give you about 120,000. I can't take that. Right? You may get him to 125, right? So a house that we know can sell for 237, we could probably get for 125. Now let's do the golden rule that we have out here. The rule is ARV, and this is just a quick and dirty math. So it's a 237 ARV. So don't forget, the number that we got here was 237. That's 237,000. That's called the after repair value or the 100% value, right? So 237 minus 30%. All right, so that's gonna knock $71,000 off, right? Get me down to 165, right? So minus 30% equals 165,900, right? And then we're gonna take it where the repair costs.
So that's 62,000.
He said it was 62,000, but we know better than that. So we know it's gonna cost half of that, 31,000, right? Yep. And that's gonna give me 134. This is what I can buy it for this if I'm gonna flip it myself. If I'm gonna flip it for myself, this is what I can buy it for. But remember, I want to make some money because I just might want to assign this property. I may just want to assign it. So I need to go back. I need to take off, minimum. Now that goes up to the sales manager and what y'all trying to do. If y'all trying to make 15 grand, you take that off that price and now you're at 120. So you know that I can give you 120 for this property, make 15,000 on an assignment, or give you 125, make 10,000 on an assignment and be good. But we bought this for 100 grand. That's why you see we kept it and we flipped it ourselves. I was doing this so much before. I used Zillow and Redfin before it came out to be able to get to the point where you can have a conversation. So you got to get so comfortable with this where you can have somebody on the phone, because the idea is, and like I think I had this analogy before. If I wake up in the morning, Saturday morning, I'm like, you know what? That's it. I'm going to buy a new mattress. And I walk into the mattress store on Haynes Mall. And I walk into which one, right? One of three of them. I walk into the store and nobody says anything to me. Nobody greets me. Nobody does anything. I'm out. And I leave. And I go back home. What's the likelihood of me buying a mattress today? Probably not. Right? So the idea is, while I take the initiative to definitely, especially call you, I want something. I want a price. I want to sell my house. So I need to provide you with something there. Now, I'm not going to throw my price out first as much as I possibly can. I want them to price angle because he said, yeah, I know he sold for 237, but listen, I know it needs some work. Give me like, give me 175. And then you start doing the math and do the math out loud, but pad the numbers. And the easy place to pad the numbers is in repairs. So because they can't do flooring like we do. They can't get sheetrock guys like we can get. So they're going off Google prices. So that $62,000 repair bill is only half of that for us. So that's where you pad that extra $30,000 on. So then you start to have the conversations, and you can see without even playing math, I was already at here. I didn't even do the formula, but I just knew where I needed to be at roughly to get a house to where it is. And so once you start to learn the software, you're going to be able to multitask with the conversation and looking up stuff. And then you're going to be a ninja, because you're going to be able to. And now, once you get all this out, now comes out the sales guy. Let me think about it. Common objection. What do we do with let me think about it? Right? So so there's all these, we have scripts written out, by the way, that have common objections. So you take those common objections and you get ready for them when you get to here. Well, I don't want to sell right now. Maybe in 90 days. I don't think I'm gonna be ready to move. How about we get on the contract today? I'll drop off an earnest money check, due diligence check today, and we'll put the closing 90 days out. With the contingency that it can go to blank. That way I got the contract and I know 90 days out, I got 15 grand waiting. So these are just the things you're gonna run across these scenarios. I don't even remember how we got this house. I'm not sure, but look at that price, bro. So when people say it's not possible, and I'm trying to get, right, we would've made money here. Would've made money right here. We could have signed it. We could have signed this house for a $30,000 assignment fee. So that's why it's not impossible. When people be saying it's not impossible. You just don't know how to sell. So on a $30,000 assignment fee at a 10% commission, 15% commission, bro, you anywhere between $3,000 and $6,000 on one phone call. This is my bread and butter. This is how I was able to print money, because I was able to do this and that without this software. So when I see y'all have all this shit, and I be like, and y'all don't even, because y'all don't know the other side. When your parents, y'all used to walk to school in 5 miles barefoot in the snow uphill both ways. That's how I feel when I be trying to tell y'all we didn't have this.